Hey my friends, welcome back to another episode of the Year of Cooking Canuck. On today's segment of Memories of Macedonia, I'm going to be making something that might not be heralded as traditional. However, it's becoming more and more popular on social media, Pinterest. What I'm talking about is cabbage roll soup. You heard me right, cabbage roll soup. It's basically all the flavors of a cabbage roll, deconstructed in a soup. I didn't feel like rolling out cabbage rolls, and I wanted a soup. I wanted that flavor, and that's what I'm going to make today. So stick with me. I'm going to show you everything that you need to make this. It's dead easy, and I have a little bit of a twist to it. Stick with me, and let's go make this. Hey everyone, welcome to the kitchen countertop. So first and foremost, what is cabbage rolls made of? Obviously, cabbage. Now, traditionally, the Macedonian Sarma uses fermented or pickled cabbage. Now, in a cabbage roll, baked or put in a pot, I think that's fine. However, I don't want my soup to be overpoweringly sour. So what I've gone ahead and done is I got a small head of cabbage. I've already taken the outer layers off and washed it. And I'm going to take out the core here. I know it's not facing you. Sorry. Right. So I'm going to remove the core. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into shreds. Oops, sorry for the noise. Right, I'm going to continue with all of my cabbage. What I'm basically doing is I'm going to fast ferment this or make it into a pickle. So I'm going to put all of the cabbage that's shredded into a bowl. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a lot of salt on top of all the cabbage when it's in here. Why? Because this is going to sit, and this is what's going to make this into a pickle or a quick sauerkraut. Okay? So once I have all of this done, I'll show you what I do next. Hey everyone, welcome back to the kitchen countertop. Right, so I've gone ahead and shredded all of my cabbage. I know it looks like a lot, but it's going to not melt down, but it will shrink, because now what I'm going to do is add, I have some sea salt here, and I'm going to add a lot. I mean a lot of salt. Don't worry, you're not going to cook this with the salt. The salt is just simply to brine, quick pickle the cabbage. Now you can do this trick with a lot of vegetables, carrots, daikon radish. Right, so the salt is in here. What you're going to do, I should have used a bigger bowl, is you're going to massage this in here. And put it aside, and ever so often, look at it and give it another massage. Squeeze it. All of the water will start to leach out. And instead of it being crisp, it's going to start turning softer, like you would, sauerkraut to be. So continue doing this. Make sure it's all mixed. I might put this in a bigger bowl so I can get my hands in there. And just put it aside, and every so often, give it a mix and squish it. And then I'll show you what we do once it's all ready. Hey gang, I'm back real quick just to show you. I put it in a larger bowl here, and so what you're going to do is you're just going to squeeze it and really get the salt incorporated everywhere. Now there's a lot of salt in here. As I said, don't worry about that right now. It's going to be rinsed off. I tasted it, as you should too. If it's super uber duper salty, perfect. I'm not going to taste another piece because it was really salty. Right, so guys, I'm going to set this aside and get going on the next component, and I'll be right with you. Hey everyone, welcome back to the kitchen countertop. So the other element of cabbage rolls is obviously the stuffing, which is usually minced meat with spices, onions, garlic. So what I have going on the stove here, turn it down to a low simmer, is I have a mixture of minced pork and minced beef with some onions, garlic, paprika, a little bit of vegeta, and some rice. Now, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I made this prior to tonight. I'm heating it up on the stove. If you saw my video for Sarma, this is the other batch that I had made up that I saved and I froze. I defrosted it and I have heated it up now on the stove, which I'm going to turn off right now. So there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you guys need to start from scratch, that's what is in this mixture. Now, to this, I also have some chicken stock, which is homemade chicken stock. You can use store-bought, guys. You can use water. You can use veggie stock. But I had this beautiful chicken stock that I had made, and I didn't want to throw it out. So I'm going to go ahead and add, and I'm using the strainer on here because there's some large pieces of onion, as you can see in here. I don't want to fall out. So I'm going to add chicken stock. Now I'm going to need more liquid, but I'm going to put this in to start. Great. The other element that's usually in cabbage rolls is some kind of tomato. What I have here is stewing tomatoes. They're Roma tomatoes. I have 2 cans, which I'm going to add, and they will break down. Now, I also have fresh tomatoes. You can add that as well if you prefer. Or you can add some passata even. So I'm going to put those in. And I'm going to save the cans so I can put some liquid in there to add in to swish them out. Now, if you're a vegetarian, please still make sarma and please still make this soup. You can substitute with a variety of mushrooms. Mushrooms have an amazing natural meaty flavor. This guy doesn't want to come out. And they're great substitute. Okay, this guy is too big. He just wants to sit in there. All right. Mind my fingers, they are clean. Right, so I've added that. I'm going to add some more liquid to this. Okay, so each can I've added additional liquid. I'm going to pop this back on the stove and just leave it on a low simmer for now. But in the meantime, I just wanted to come back and show you what's happening with our cabbage. As you can see, the cabbage is really reduced down in this bowl. And it's kind of a squeaky sound. You hear that? So the salt is really breaking this down. And if you notice on the bottom of the bowl, hopefully you can see that, there's a lot of liquid. And that's what the salt is doing. It's drawing out the liquid and it's basically pickling this cabbage. So it does work, guys. It's been sitting for about an hour and 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep setting this aside for now, and I'll come back and I'll show you what we do next. Hey guys, it's time to check on my cabbage. Now in the meantime, I've been coming over, pressing it, squeezing it really, really as hard as I can. And what I've done is I've added about 2 tablespoons or so of white wine vinegar. If you don't have white wine vinegar, you can use white vinegar, even some apple cider vinegar. Why white wine vinegar? The best sauerkraut is wine cured in a wine vinegar in a barrel usually. Now you're not going to get the sauerkraut color that you would find in a jar, obviously. It's fermented for a longer time. This is a quick pickle guys, and as I said, you can use this recipe for a lot of vegetables. It's actually a quick chef's secret when they want to do a quick pickle for something. The cabbage itself, as you can see, is getting quite limp, like a sauerkraut should be. Now there are some larger pieces in here, but as you can see, I can bend it. It's not snapping, and that's what you're looking for. So you're going to keep at it, leave this for a little while longer, but I'm really pleased. This is on its way, and then I'll show you what we do next. Hey everyone, welcome back. Now, cabbage. It's been sitting for, I'd say about 2.5 hours now. Now guys, you do not have to do this. If you want, you can use about a half a head of cabbage and a small jar of sauerkraut, or you can just use the cabbage as is if you want. However, I wanted a more authentic Macedonian flavor to this without puckering my mouth up too much in a soup. So, this has been sitting. I have been squeezing and it's pretty much done. It's not going to do any more. So, I mean, it probably would if I left it overnight, for example, but I'm smelling it. It smells really good. So, in a colander, in your sink, go ahead and dump out all your cabbage. Now, as I said, this is going to be quite salty because of all that salt that we've added. Now, as you can see, it's very tender, like a sauerkraut would be. Now, if I were to taste this right now, it's very salty. So, cold water, squeezing and rinsing. You want to get rid of all of that really, really, really salty flavor, but leaving behind the pickled cabbage. As you can see, if doing this method, it really, really takes down your cabbage. So guys, I'm going to continue rinsing this, and I'll be back and show you what I do next. Alright guys, so I've rinsed my cabbage very thoroughly, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let it sit in some cold water with just a little bit more of the wine vinegar, white wine vinegar, and I'm going to let this sit so it can rinse out some more of the salt. Taste it. I mean, if it's still really too salty for you, you need to keep rinsing it. As I said, guys, all of this is a labor of love. It's an optional step. You don't have to do it. You can put regular cabbage in here, or you can put sauerkraut instead. But I wanted this to be more of an authentic flavor from scratch, and I think I've achieved that. So I'll be back and show you the final steps. Okay, my friends, the last step in the cooking process, at least. So I've once again rinsed, drained very well my cabbage, and all I need to do now is add it to the soup, which I've turned back on. Now, the one benefit of cooking your meat and rice the day that you're going to do this is that the rice won't swell as much. Mine tended to swell a little bit, but that's okay because I wasn't using long grain rice, so that's a good thing. So all my cabbage has now been added to the soup. And I'm going to give this a stir. And it was exactly what the last addition needed to kind of thicken this soup, but still have it brothy. I'm going to bring it over so you can see it a little bit better. So as you can see, it's thick, but still very nice soupy. And I'm just going to now, last addition, is add a little touch of the white wine vinegar. I'm going to give that a quick stir. Ooh, it smells good, so good already. And I'm going to give this a quick little taste, just to see if I need to add more. That's good. I'm going to add a bit more. Now, all that cabbage that was salty, believe it or not, I'm going to add just a little bit of seasoning, some salt. Now there is some hot pepper, in there, the red crushed chili peppers. So it is a little bit spicy. We're going to add some pepper. Excuse me. Now, this, guys, is basically ready. I'm going to heat it through and serve it up. And I'll see you when I eat. Hey guys, our soup is done. I've tasted it and it tastes exactly like Macedonian Sarma. So our Sarma Suppa is done. I have a nice bowl here that I've warmed up, and all that's left to do is to ladle some in. Oh, it is so lovely. The cabbage, the mince, the tomatoes, the spices. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. This is comfort food. I have some beautiful crusty bread here. I have my Sarma Suppa. I'm ready to tuck in. Thank you so much for watching Memories of Macedonia. We'll see you next time on a new episode. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Ajde, prijetno, ciao, hvala mnogo. So guys, I served my cabbage roll soup with some crusty bread, as you can see, and some homemade kaymak. Beautiful, rich kaymak helped with the flavor of the sour cabbage roll soup. Enjoy! Thanks for watching.